John Hansard is one of many galleries today working directly with research and based within a university. University galleries may host degree shows, show work by staff, or artists whose work is led by academic research. They are more likely to show an artist's work if they get to know them and begin a dialogue over time.
We initiate projects, but we're also receptive to people coming to us with ideas. There are obviously ways in which we actively, pursue particular projects or particular artists that we think would be good for the programme. And we also work a lot in partnership with other organisations. So that's a big kind of strand of what we do, is collaborating with other organisations. So projects evolve out of those partnerships as well. And a project can be on the boil, as it were, for 2 or 3 years sometimes. And of course, when we first commit to the project, it's at a very, very early stage, and of course it can change dramatically over that time. So we're very kind of involved in that process. So we're constantly working with people and, working with them on what the latest ideas are for how the project's going to evolve.
We're a research-based organisation for a start. Because we're in a university, I suppose we do research-based exhibitions that have spent some time unearthing an idea or developing an idea, and that's very important to us. So exhibitions that are about something and have issues and ideas that can be explored is very important to us as well. Both solo exhibitions and mixed exhibitions, both are generated by an idea that explores something that can become opened up through debate and discussion. So we have a lot of different kind of things like seminars, symposia, artist talks, but we tend to have a single conference or seminar or whatever you might call it, usually nowadays at the beginning of every show, which starts the debate, which hopefully carries on through the time the exhibition's here.
How does the gallery work with research?
In terms of our relationship with research, there are two real aspects. One is that we have an art school here, which is a research-intensive university department, and we contribute greatly to that in all sorts of ways, by allowing people at Winchester School of Art to engage in research projects which may lead to exhibitions or aspects of exhibitions and so on, or other things like one of the digital people over there is working with us on digitisation and audience development, for example. But at the same time, we like to work in a collaborative way with other departments within the university. We've worked with philosophy, English, engineering, oceanography, geodata, all sorts of engineering and physics departments now, and it's great to bring artists and introduce them to some real experts. We're working with 2 artists currently who are working with the Leverhulme Fellowship with someone from electronics and computing science on the development of disaster management, and that, I think, is an opportunity for them to broaden their work and to root a lot of art activity in genuine research.
But in the past, we've had kind of major commissions by artists, which have resulted in big gallery exhibitions. Working here with the English department with Caroline Bergvall and Rona Lee, who had a residency down at the National Oceanography Centre. So those are kind of a couple of examples from the kind of relatively recent past. But yeah, their residencies within those departments have resulted in long periods of development for them, and in turn we've then worked with them on how all of those ideas could actually be made into tangible exhibition and publication.
We have had a kind of consistent research project, which is the legacy of conceptual art, and it begins with the belief that a lot of the artists in the mid-60s, or at the birth of conceptual art, didn't make objects because they were trying to reclaim their own creativity, take it away from dealers who were, at the time, really instructing them what to do and making a fortune out of them, and they wanted to take it back for themselves. And they did a lot of things like make happenings, video work. The Fluxus movement, which was slightly before that period, were engaged in all sorts of things, showing archival material and so on. Also, we've managed to use a lot of these artists who are still alive and get them to make new work. And the other part of our research is to encourage a younger generation of artists, or younger generations of artists, who are inspired by that radical thinking of the 1960s, and take it on now. I mean, more and more artists now, the avant-garde is almost overwhelming in its ubiquity now, but actually what the legacy of that work is, of that radical work in the 1960s is, and the relevance today. So we like to show younger artists who are following in their footsteps, if you like.
How can an artist get the gallery's attention?
The best way to get our attention is to get to know us a bit. I mean, I've said this many times before, but gallery curators are individuals, and they're unique individuals with ideas and aspirations and intentions and likes and hates. And I think any artist really needs to get to know what the ethos of a gallery is, what it does, what it's about, and engage it in some way, engage them in conversation. I mean, not everyone can engage every gallery director in every issue all the time, but you can certainly, get to know what some. It's the same in commercial galleries as in public galleries. That actually finding out one that really does something that you're interested in, and that and you can get them to know your work and what you're working on.
If an artist thinks that a particular gallery is the kind of place that does the work that they're interested in, or the kind of programme that they think is suitable for their work, then it's a case of just kind of not necessarily bombarding them straight off with I want to do this kind of proposal, but it's just a kind of drip feed thing. It's like going, oh well, would you like to come to this? I've got a show coming up, do you want to come? Or it's just this kind of like a little not a full-on, show my work now kind of application. It's more of a, this is what I do, just thought you might like to see it. And kind of a gradual thing like that.
In terms of our new space, we will certainly work very much close to the university. The university sees us as pioneers, if you like, in terms of our building relations with the city, with the population of the city in the county and the region, and that will be very much at the fore of that. The gallery itself will have 650 square metres of space, which is about 3 times as much as we've got here.
There will be galleries on 2 levels, so for a start there'll be potential for multiple programming, so having more than one exhibition running at a time. So there's all sorts of ways in which the programme can grow and develop and change in terms of how it is kind of manifested.